Hi, it's Monday night, welcome. I started a vlog for my work week and I am going to be updating you on my reading progress. Currently, I am listening to the audiobook version of The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett, and I started it today and I'm about 1/3 of the way through it. This book is about two twin sisters from a very tiny town in Louisiana, and it follows their life through their childhood and into their adolescence and into adulthood when they split and live two different lives. One of the twins choosing to live life as a white woman and the other one living her life as a black woman. And to my understanding, it basically just follows their life and their connection over time as they split. From my understanding, this book is a study of family, of human desire, human connection, also of race and ethnicity and how that plays a role in an individual's life. I'm very excited to continue with this book. It is very good so far. Britt Bennett is... This book has gotten a lot of hype on BookTube and Book Instagram and stuff like that, so I would like to go ahead and say, if this is not too premature, that this book deserves the hype. Hopefully that lives up. I hope I'm not jinxing myself by saying that, knock on wood. I have just filmed a video and I will be editing. I will check in with you guys later tonight.
20 minutes. 225.
I got myself a big ol' cup of tea. This is a strawberry hibiscus tea. I put a little bit of lemon in it and it is so hot. It's one of those ones that I'm not gonna be able to drink for another quarter of an hour. So yep, I'm gonna start editing and we'll check back with you later. Hi, I have been editing for around 45 minutes and I wanted to move on to something else. I'm currently reading a few different things. Normally what happens for me is I will read an audiobook as well as reading a physical book at the same time. And it's just because in different situations in my life, I typically go through audiobooks faster than I go through physical reads. So my physical read right now is Hood Feminism by Mickey Kendall. And I've been reading this for a good while. I think I've been reading this for about a month. I am a little bit over halfway and I would like to prioritize finishing this book. This book is heavy. It touches on a lot of heavy topics around feminism, and if you are a true feminist, you are to care about other issues that you don't really associate with mainstream feminism, like hunger, like eating disorder awareness, like sexual health, like just general health care. And so it touches on a lot of really tough topics and it's a lot to digest. And so I've been taking my time with this. I've been annotating it and I've just wanted to get the most I can out of this book. So that's why I am still reading it after a month. So I'd like to take some time and go through some of this and get a few chapters read. So that is what I'm switching over to at the moment. Hope you all are having a great evening and I will talk to you later. So I was trying to settle in to read and it wasn't really working for me. So I decided to make another giant mug. Do you see how big this is? This is as big as my face. Giant mug of tea. And I got ready for bed. I washed my face. And I think we're ready now. Gonna give it another shot. Hello. It is Tuesday evening and I am back from work. Some plans for tonight would be I'm gonna call my friend and I'm gonna make a big old pot of tea, and then I'm going to sit and get through some more of Hood Feminism. An update from reading for today would just be I listened to a little bit of The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett, but the workload that I had today, it didn't really allow for a whole lot of audiobook listening. So didn't really get through a whole lot of that, but I am going to get into Hood Feminism and I will keep you guys posted. See ya. Hi, it is a couple hours later. What have I accomplished? I've edited some of my video. I washed my face, and I also made that giant pot of tea that I was promising that I would make. At least I delivered on something. So I think what my plan is for this evening is I'm going to take a shower and get into some PJs, and Jared and I are going to watch The Crown. And if I get to some more hood feminism, great. If not, we'll see how the night goes, but I will check in with you shortly. Happy Tuesday. Hope you are all having a wonderful day. And yeah. Hello. Hi. Just to check in. I am currently on my lunch break from work and I am driving to my local library. I have a big old stack of books that I need to drop off, and I will be looking for some new reads, possibly a new graphic novel. So I will keep you posted on what I pick up from the library today. Hi. So because I went to the library, I thought it'd be fun to talk about the books that I picked up from the library. Really quick, nothing too crazy, but like, as you can see, as usual, I went a little bit overboard. I got excited. When I see titles that I'm wanting to read, I'll just go ahead and pick them up. And if I don't get to them, I either can renew them or I at least know that they're like there in my library. So I would like to talk about these for a second. So the first book that I want to talk about is Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson. And this book is about two friends who reconnect after 10 years. One of the friends needs help watching their stepkids from the other friend. And the reason that she needs help is because when these kids get irritated or agitated, they catch on fire, spontaneously combust. So this is a literal cover. So I thought that was really cute. Also, this is a booktube recommendation. I wanted to pick this up. The next book I picked up is Days of Distraction by Alexander Chang. And this is, I believe it's a contemporary about a young writer. She's in her mid-20s. And it's about her figuring out her role in a relationship. There's a move involved. There's a lot of future plans that I think either get messed up or just were never planned in the first place. So it's meant to be a exploration of identity, maybe not coming to age so much. This book also has apparently some humor in it, as well as a display of intelligence by our main character and possibly some mentors, maybe. We'll see. So I'm excited about this one, wanted to pick it up. The next book I picked up is Women Talking by Miriam Toews, and this book is a very interesting concept, and I would like to just read you the description. Apparently it's based on real events. So the story is about Mennonite women. For the past 2 years, each of these women and more than 100 of other girls in the colony have been repeatedly violated in the night by demons coming to punish them for their sins. And now that the women have learned that they were in fact drugged and attacked by a group of men from their own community, they are determined to protect themselves and their daughters from future harm. So I think there is kind of like definitely, obviously there's a sinister thing going on, a sense of kind of tribe. Everybody is bonded together through this experience, and apparently there is a plan afoot. This sounded like a really interesting concept. This is also another booktube recommendation, so yeah. The next book is a graphic novel by Brianna Thumler called Sheets, and apparently this is just a cute, kind of heartwarming, feel-good story. Booktuber Ariel Bissett really, really loves this book, and I would love to pick it up. The next book is also a graphic novel by Emily Carroll, and it is called Through the Woods. And this book is it's 5 different stories combined that have to do with through the woods, going into the woods, coming out of the woods. Spine-tangling stories that follow journeys into and out of the eerie abyss. Come and take a walk in the woods and you will see what awaits you there. I thought that this just was kind of a cool concept. Give me a little bit of spooks. I flipped through and there's just, it's almost all the pages are like on a black background. It looked really interesting, and 5 different stories. Can kind of read little spurts. Through this book, I think that I'm going to be able to get a few really good stories in a short period of time if I'm ever having, 20 minutes that I'd like to read and feel like picking up something a little bit shorter and easier to digest. So, Through the Woods. Next is Catherine House by Elizabeth Thomas, and this is a dark academia novel that has been talked about a lot during the past couple of months on BookTube and Bookstagram. I've actually heard a couple of bad reviews on this. The booktubers that I watch pretty much didn't love it, and actually there are a few who actively disliked it. So I was interested to see this. One, obviously because I get recommendations from people who have read more than me, and I also thought that in concept, this book sounded like it would really be up my alley, like a book that I would really love. Like I said, it's dark academia, and this follows a school, which is a higher level education, which is extremely difficult to get into. You can only get in through a certain scholarship, and if you graduate, there are lifelong benefits. Doesn't that sound great? But the catch is you have to spend 3 years completely isolated from the world in this university. This book and the research that I've done also hints that there is something sinister going on here, and that's all I needed to know. Super old, creepy university that grants people power and prestige when you graduate. Isolation. Something happens, tragedy, I don't know. It sounds like it'd be totally up my alley, and I'm pretty excited about it. I also got a large print edition from the library. I'm interested to see if that will change my reading experience. If any of you have ever read large print before or prefer it, yeah, I'm interested to see if that will change anything for me. And lastly, The Wicked Deep by Shea, Earnshaw. And this book is a fantasy story. It is about 3 sisters who years and years and years ago were killed by their town, and they had like rocks tied around their ankles and they drowned. And on the anniversary of their death, every year in the summer, they inhabit the bodies of 3 living girls at that time, and their spirits walk around and are able to exact their revenge, try and figure out what happened. And it's a well-known thing throughout the town. Apparently, people are like okay with this, or at least accepting of it. One year, on the eve of their return, there is a boy who enters the town without knowing this town's history. Like I said, it's well known throughout kind of the community. So when there's somebody who's introduced into it who doesn't know what he's stepping into, there is basically, the pot is kind of stirred a little bit, and the plot goes from there. I'm not totally sure how I'm gonna feel about this book, but through my research, this was a synopsis that really kind of caught me. When I saw the book at the library though, I went ahead and snagged it because I thought I could kind of like refamiliarize myself with the story and kind of like the research that I had done, because I believe I put this on my TBR like probably over 6 months ago now. So I don't really fully remember why I was interested in reading it. But now I have it, and I'm excited to read this one. So like I said, this is just a library haul for fun, but not like a strict TBR. I will say I'll pull the books that I'm most interested in reading. So out of all the books that I just mentioned, the 3 that I would say I'm most interested in reading / probably will pick up first would be Catherine House, Sheets, and Women Talking. And that's just because I think I'm starting to get to know my preference. So yay, fun little library haul. Good evening, everyone. It is now Wednesday night, and I just wanted to kind of give a little bit of an update. It's later in the evening. It's around 8:15, and we just had some dinner, and I am currently brewing up some tea. My plans for tonight pretty much just consist of folding some laundry and finishing The Vanishing Half. So just a little bit update on my audiobook for The Vanishing Half. I listened to a lot of it today, and I am about to wrap it up. I am on the last chapter. So far, some thoughts on The Vanishing Half. Beautiful writing. My goodness, Britt Bennett is breathtaking, and her prose is beautiful. It has been a delight to read. Plot-wise, there are definitely some twists and turns that I was not expecting the book to take. I love when that happens. I appreciate when a book catches me off guard. This book spans over time, so you get to see, like I said, these 2 twin sisters growing up, and then you get to watch them become mothers in these 2 very different paths of life. those daughters grow up and you get to kind of like watch them. And so they are obviously experiencing life very differently than the other ones. So the two cousins are also on these very clearly different paths of life. There were some introductions of new characters like in the middle of the book, which was great. I felt it kept the plot moving. I felt it kept like relationships interesting. Some of the characters who were introduced later on in the book are actually some of my favorite characters. So I appreciated that Britt Bennett was conscious enough in her structure of the plot to, as these girls grow up, why would you stick to the same kind of cast of characters, especially as you're following adolescents whose social groups and relationships change so much over time. So yeah, overall it has been a joy to listen to. The audiobook is fantastic. I'm going to wrap that up while I am folding some laundry, and then I will kind of give some final thoughts. So I have just finished The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett, and wow. One of the coolest thing about this book is the conflict of interest within the two sisters. Their daughters, their relationships, everybody wants something different. And so whenever you are listening to or watching the perspective of each character, you can understand why each one wants what they want. You can understand why each person is thinking the way that they're thinking. I thought that was a really, really good book. I liked the ending. It was the right amount of open-ended and the right amount of conclusion. It left some space for the story to be continued to be thinking about for me, but it also gave a good enough resolution where I was like, okay, I am satisfied with the story. I'm satisfied with where the growth stopped for these characters. All in all, fantastic book. I think I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5, so I am really, really happy with it. So for the rest of this evening, I'm gonna be picking up a new audiobook, and that is The Shining by Stephen King. That is right. I'm gonna read my first Stephen King ever! So I'm reading The Shining because the Late Night Book Club by Noelle, Joel, and Elias are reading it for the January book club pick, and I'm very excited. It is one of Noelle Gallagher's favorite Kings. I've seen the movie, love the movie. So I'm excited to read it, and I will let you know how that goes. That is going to be, like I said, my audiobook, and I'm going to, this evening, pick up my physical copy of Hood Feminism. I'm on page like 190 out of about 260 pages. My goal is to finish this book this work week. In order to do that, I need to read, 20 to 30 pages each night. So I'm going to at least read 20 or 30 pages tonight, and then I might continue reading depending on where we're at. But I've got my tea and I finished folding laundry, so we're gonna get right into reading. Hello, good evening. It is Thursday night and I am home from work. When I got home, I went on a walk and continued listening to The Shining by Stephen King. So I didn't start actually listening to this audiobook until I only had 6 days left on my library loan. And so I have quartered everything up so that I know the amount of hours I have to listen to every day for 6 days in order to finish it before I lose my loan. With that being said, I have listened to the amount of this book that I want to listen to for today, and I'm about to hop on over to read some more Hood Feminism. Last night I read another 25 or so pages, and I'm getting into the last little bit. I'm at page 216, and I read a chapter that was about hunger and then a chapter that was on education. And both of those were incredibly interesting and engaging and challenging. So I know I'm not done with it yet, but I can just go ahead and recommend Hood Feminism. It is educational, and like I said, it's challenging, and we all need a little bit of a wake-up call, Wake-up calls are never bad. Being uncomfortable is never bad. Yeah, highly recommend, so I'm gonna get into that, and I will check in with you later. Hello, it is a little bit later. This evening it is around 8:30, and I just finished watching the first episode of the 5th season of Peaky Blinders, and the 5th season is the most updated season on Netflix. It is very good, and I really just want to keep watching, but I am dedicated to reading my 20 to 30 pages of Hood Feminism tonight, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that under my belt, and then if I still feel inclined, I will watch another episode of this season of Peaky Blinders. So good. I love it a lot. But for now, I am going to get into hood feminism, and I will possibly check back with you later tonight. But if not, hope you have an amazing evening, and we will see you tomorrow for Friday. So it is Friday, it is lunchtime, I'm about to be home and gonna have some lunch. I wanted to chat really quickly about The Shining because I am, like I said, currently listening to that. I have just cracked the halfway point, and that is pretty impressive for the length of this book. I think it's 660-ish pages. So I've seen the movie before, and I liked the movie, and the movie was pretty good. I had no qualms with it. It didn't, blow my mind or anything. And as I'm listening to the audiobook, all I'm thinking is, man, is this fantastic. I don't think I was expecting to love this as much. I've heard Stephen King's writing is hard to digest or hard to get into, but I have found this, completely addicting. And the storyline is insane and ominous, and it's not quite, there are a few literal scary parts, but it's just the overall mood of the book that is really getting me. For those who are familiar with the storyline from either the movie or the book, I have just finished listening to the scene where Jack, the main character, is in the bar, and man, it's so good. It's so good. I'm enjoying it a lot. So about to get some lunch in me and then back to work. Okay, so that is it. That concludes my work week reading vlog. Some wrap-up statistics. I was able to finish The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. I was able to start and get a good chunk listened to of the audiobook version of The Shining by Stephen King. And lastly, I unfortunately did not finish Hood Feminism. After all of that, I have 2 chapters left, and that totals about 20 pages. On Thursday after work, which was a very tiring day, I just didn't have the energy, and on Friday I couldn't pick up all the slack. So I'm not upset about it or anything like that, but I will be continuing to read it and will be finishing it soon in the next day or so. I am very happy that you were able to join me for this reading vlog. Hope you had fun trying out something new, always a good time. So yeah, hope to see you in the next video. Bye!